Hello, this is layperson Lisa with a reflection on the readings for the 27th Sunday in Ordinary Time. So I'm in Arizona visiting my family, and my nephew was talking about getting matching tattoos when he turns 18. And I told him, well, I get tattoos that have religious meanings. And so if we're going to get matching tattoos, it has to have a religious meaning. And so we're just talking and discussing what it possibly could be. And then my younger nephew said that happiness is submission to God, just like random. And I'm like, whoa, you're right. Where did you get that? And he goes, oh, it's just on a billboard. And so today's gospel, today's readings talk about, the first reading talks about like, why, oh Lord, why are you taking so long in answering my prayers? Don't you see all this terribleness going on around? And in the gospel, it tells the disciples, say, increase our faith. And so we can pray to increase our faith because ultimately God is control, even inside of the messes in the world. And we've talked about this before. God permits these things. It is his permissive will, which is very different from his perfect will. His perfect will is all goodness, but because of the sin and evil that has entered the world. Oh, and this is cool. My younger niece and nephew, we did our religious education lesson yesterday, and we were talking about original sin and how that has affected our world and how it has ripple effects. And part of those ripple effects is the evil that has entered in. And so God permits these things, but he's permitting them in some way. He brings good out of everything. And so oftentimes we are called to be patient and to trust in God. And it brings me to like the last part of the gospel where it says that do what you are obliged to do. And what are we obliged to do? Trust God, depend on God, know that he loves us despite maybe what's going around in our lives, despite what's going around in our world. But he just loves us so much that he redeemed original sin by sending Jesus. But there's still effects. But because he sent Jesus, his son, to die for us, to save us, there will be goodness at the end of our suffering, because we have that hope of being with him in heaven. And so that's another thing that me and the kids were talking about yesterday were the theological virtues of hope, faith, and charity, and how charity, we're called to love God and love others because God loves them. And so we can sometimes have people in our lives that are hard to love, but he calls us to will their good, to pray for them. And that is one way to be a ripple of a work of charity, to have that effect in the world. But the important thing is to have faith in God, to trust that he has us in the palm of his hand, to trust that he's holding us in his eternal embrace, to just trust that he's right there in our heart, which are shrines of the Trinity because of our baptism, and to trust that he's always there, even if we feel alone, even if we are just having trouble dealing with a situation or a trial or a person, but to submit to him, because that is where we will find happiness, and not happiness that is based on a situation, because that's happiness, I don't think is the right word for that. It's more so happiness could be fleeting, but that joy that comes from the Lord. So is there a situation in your life where you're having trouble trusting God? Submitting to him will bring you true joy.